Baby, we gotta talk about getting rich off GTA 6, the franchise that literally controlled my childhood. In fact, the last GTA came out when I was 20 years old. I barely knew what was going on in the world, let alone the economy and the stock market, but as a 30-year-old adult, I care less about playing the game as much as I do realizing I can print some juicy tendies off this game. And here we are, I am like low to the boat, as many of you might have known. I bought, 82 shares in my tax-free savings account. I'm Canadian, by the way. I'm buying these over the border, but I got 82 shares of this US parent company, Take-Two Interactive, that owns Rockstar, in turn owning GTA 6 at an average price of $212. I'm up 7.6% in this account. In this other account, I have another 32 shares, an average price of $208. In combined combination value, I've got 114 shares at over $25,000 of US value. Being a Canadian, that's like a down payment on a US house somewhere that's not that expensive. I mean, god damn, that's a lot of money to be making a bet on a friggin' video game franchise. But here we sit, and to my own surprise, this is the absolute best stock I've bought all year. No, not Google, not the S&P 500, this random video game company that is avoiding recessions, tariffs, and the stock's just acting like it's its own deal here, up to a $40 billion valuation at all-time highs. Is it still worth holding? Well, that's the question we're asking ourselves. So if you want to get rich off GTA 6, if you're on a path to financial independence, if you want to be wealthy into your 30s and beyond, go hit that subscribe button, folks, because we are in some perplexing times when it comes to this franchise. And I want to talk about it because the only two news releases we got was the game is delayed, but we're going to tease you with another trailer. And boy, did that trailer deliver. The only thing that made me excited about continuing to hold it is the fact that the numbers that this breaks. I think YouTube is the most valued streaming service, video service on the planet. Unlike Netflix, unlike Disney, Apple, Plus, whatever, they don't pay for media. It is like the most profitable media company on the planet. We all make media for it, like you're watching right now, and they give me a bit of ad share, and they don't produce any of that stuff, and they just make a shit ton of money. That's what YouTube does, baby. It makes as much money as Netflix, but probably has margins that are like over 50%. And when somebody posts a game trailer or any trailer on here, when you break those records of one of the most viewed streaming platforms on the planet, it's kind of shocking. I mean, we're talking about almost 20 million views in 4 hours as of me recording this video, and you compare it to even the Met Gala that only has 11 million views over 17 hours is insane comparisons. I mean, there's not one YouTube short. There is not one thing, even the, teaser for Squid Games of 19 hours and only has 6.3 million views. This is disgusting, and I'll be shocked if it breaks YouTube records again. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'd be shocked if the second trailer continues to break, view records. It's kind of insane, really. So this is what's kind of keeping me holding onto the stock, but there is a lot more risk between now and then. That's what the concerning reality for me holding the stock is that, like, I was excited to see the game come out in September because the window wasn't that far away, and I figure we'll get some speculation from like the Wall Street bettors out there that might be piling into the stock, considering it's mostly institutionally held. It wouldn't take a lot to squeeze this stock continually higher. But now I'm like, damn, I got to sit on this thing for a whole year and hope earnings and the speculation continues to remain strong. So there's some volatility that I'm expecting. But let's talk about the numbers. This is like the funniest breakdown of like the comparable numbers of how much this franchise and game actually costs. Take a listen to this.
GTA 6 is taking longer to develop than it took to build the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. On top of that, it's also more expensive. GTA 6's production costs are estimated at around $2 billion, while the Burj cost $1.5 billion. The upcoming game from Rockstar is on track to become one of the most expensive projects in entertainment history. Development began in 2014, and the budget is now estimated to be 8 times that of GTA 5. Despite the staggering investment, projections suggest day one sales could cover the entire budget.
That's what we're going to talk about, is those day one sales, baby, because we're talking about billions of dollars, and we're going to talk about how those billions are going to translate into stock value. But there's another funny video here we should watch. I think, it's quite comparably hilarious.
I know everyone's upset. You said you were ahead of schedule. If you could just give me a chance to explain. It's been over a decade. Everybody listen. The reason why we're delaying GTA 6 is because we just don't want to win Game of the Year this year, okay? We know our game's gonna blow the competition out of the water, but there were so many games this year that deserve their flowers. Split Fiction, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Path of Exile 2, and after playing Claire Obscure Expedition 33, I said, you know what? That does it. They've given their blood, sweat, and tears with the little money that they have. And for them to go against our $2 billion budget is an Avengers-level threat, and that's just not fair. Yes, we love making money, but we're gamers first. And when we notice a masterpiece, we step aside to give them a chance to shine. Who are we to dim the lights of those who really deserve it? We are aware that the moment that we release our game, we're going to win by a landslide. We're
not
aware
wrong.
everyone else's player base will flatline, and this will be the only game they'll play until at least Elder Scrolls 6. We're aware that Nintendo will go out of business since their
I mean, could it bankrupt Nintendo? Obviously a joke, but I mean, yeah, I think everyone's going to put everything down there playing, and for the next, like, as this game releases for like 6 months after, it's all any streamer, anyone's going to be talking about, and I think it's severely underestimated by analysts how much money this game is actually going to produce. Now, my big concern here is like, and what I appreciate from the actual, you know, the guidance and earnings and stuff is like they have a pretty big lineup this year of games coming out. And Take-Two, I think, is already, or 2K, sorry, not Take-Two, 2K has been doing quite well. I've been seeing a lot of streamers playing some of the 2K releases, but I want you to keep in mind, we have earnings coming out May 15th, which is just in a week or two here. And at least in the last earnings, they said they're reiterating their net booking guidance to be in the range of 5.5 to 5.6 billion and our outlook for operating performance. Our projections for the fourth quarter balance strengthen in NBA 2K with a continuation of the current mobile trends and the shift of some operating expenses into the period. So in their guidance here, they don't even mention Grand Theft Auto. Now, they do say looking ahead, you know, they have a pipeline and GTA's in there, but you got to keep in mind that 5.5 to 5.6 billion is basically what they've been doing in the trailing 12 month coming into 2024 regardless. So they haven't seen a whole lot of revenue growth, but they don't even really seem to be offering any GTA guidance. They're just like, okay, here's what we're doing with what we got. And whatever GTA 6 does is just going to blow the expectations in our guidance out of the water. I mean, how could it not? If this game sells 50 million copies within the first week, and you know it's going to be the most expensive price game ever, it's probably like $100. It's going to generate like an extra 5 to 10 billion if it sells between 50 to 100 million. And that's going to take this, you know, this current guidance, and it's going to double or triple it, and it's probably going to give them 3 to 5 billion on the bottom line because they've been spending an ungodly amount of money bringing this into fruition, right? Like, I mean, if you just look at, you know, earnings per share, their earnings per share have been down because they've been spending way more than they've been bringing in, but it's all in the anticipation of this game release. So can we survive the year with what they're currently bringing out? I mean, that's the real question. Like, I've always been a video game nerd at heart as an adult. I play some VR, you can see in the background here. Like, I play VR to stay in shape, and I love virtual reality. I think it's the future. It's all I play, with the exception of maybe Zombs, Call of Duty, you know, some of the old Zombs, the new ones suck, but we'll play the old ones still with my friends on weekends and stuff. Like, we still rip the Easter eggs and whatever if you're that much of a nerd. But nonetheless, I mean, you take a look at these game releases and they're great games. I mean, you got, you know, Mafia the Old Country, Borderlands. Not that these are going to be comparable to the jaw-dropping reality of what GTA 6 will do, but I mean, these are the titles that we have to hold on to and ride through. Red Dead Redemption, that came out. These are new iterations of previously released titles. They've been really reiterating, you know, the GTA franchise. I mean, we've even seen, you know, Mr. Beast playing GTA on a recent release video that got 4.5 million views. And yeah, so we're sitting here. We know the hype's here, right? This is the only thing that's keeping me holding on to this stock. But I don't know if the earnings can justify the current value, but they're going to have to, right? Like, we're going to have to sit here and pray and believe that ain't nobody selling this stock until that game comes out. And I have strong reason to believe that the reason the stock has been outperforming is because it's all institutions. This is the most institutionally held stock I've ever seen. It just basically means that people like me and you aren't really buyers. Retail don't control this. I mean, they are doing some dilution, but 99.8% of the current company's outstanding shares are owned by institutions, not people like you and me. And even insiders hold up 1.5% of the company, which I don't, it doesn't make any sense. So, like, there's a 5% short interest, which I think is going to get squeezed because the institutions are probably just protecting their own shares. So they shorted a little bit, but they'll probably sell those out and have to reset them at some point if the stock keeps going up. But I mean, you take a look at the shares outstanding and like they're diluting us, like they're raising capital through this as well, right? So there's nothing about this underlying company that screams buy from the current fundamentals. It's all based off, you know, what happens with GTA when it releases. But I'll probably be here for it. I mean, I'm going to keep these shares, I guess, regardless for now. I was really thinking about building this into a much bigger position, but my speculation is that the company currently worth 40 billion. If GTA 6 releases on my current expectations of 50 to 100 million copies sold, adding maybe 3 to 5 billion to the bottom line, that could justify the current value at about a 10x earnings. Something tells me these companies deserve to trade at 20 or 30x because we don't know like the in-game app purchasing. We don't know like how much, you know, money can actually be spent in the game and extra extra, money that can come from that, which is what they've been, nursing off GTA 5 for the last like 10 plus years. So you got to kind of iterate some of that value in there too. And everyone was saying, oh, there's not enough consoles out in the wild right now for PS5s or whatever, and the new Xbox Series, but this gives us extra time to get more in the wild, more of the new consoles that can, support the game. So, I mean, like I said, everything is screaming that the value is there. It's just we have to stomach and wait. But I'm going to wait for I think the hype train is still going to come a bit earlier. So we'll continue to see the stock maybe trickle up, presuming earnings are okay. And yeah, more people are going to become aware like now because I'm making these videos. I'm sure many people will start making videos like this. But hey, we'll see by the time this video gets posted going into tomorrow if it smashes YouTube records again or what. Looks like it's already on the path to. So time will tell. But yeah, I'm not going to buy more. I wanted to buy more, and I didn't when it was down. Like at the 200 range, it was such a steal. But at 40 billion, what my expectations are, the high end is maybe to 80 to 100 billion in value. So I might double my money still, but I want to like triple it up. So at 30 billion, I could see it going to like 90, and I could turn my 25K into maybe 75 to 100. But I don't know. I'm not as excited as the stock goes up, but I don't mind holding here either. So we'll see what happens. But I'll pass the question off to you. I'd love to know what you think in that comment section below.